We've been on campus the last 3 days, guys. We've been talking to students. Had close to 400 signups to our email updates. We've had over nearly 300 social media follows. It's incredible. On top of our existing 6,000+ on Instagram alone. Our audience is well over 10,000 now. So,
amazing.
But what did we learn? What did we learn over the last few days at university? Give us a nugget of wisdom.
There's a few communists around.
Yeah. A good number. But interestingly, when we put out our little list where people could put a sticker on, there weren't that many that picked communism.
Not as many as I thought would be.
Many socialists, which is worrying, but
is it?
I'd say so. I feel like the purpose of socialism is to ultimately achieve communism.
There were soft socialists, though. They just like free healthcare, free education.
Think more social democrats.
Yeah.
When you actually got down to it and you talked about it, like, we need universal healthcare and public education. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty standard New Zealand kind of politics.
Yeah.
I just wonder if these people understand the concept that there's no such thing as free anything. Like
it's
nothing in life
it's
is
called
free.
taxpayer funded.
It's all taxpayer funded.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really call it free anything.
Yeah.
It's obviously taxed, but.
Well, unless you're the Labour
State
Party
funded.
and you say 3 free doctor visits.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's 3 taxpayer doctor visits a year, not free.
Also, current wait time for a GP visit ranges between 3 weeks to 8 weeks in some areas.
Really?
So
Holy.
hopefully you get that. Hopefully you get sick, ask for your appointment, get better, then get sick again by the time you can get in.
If I don't, exactly. And what if I don't use my other 2? Or what if I only go to the GP once? Do I get reimbursed?
No, you can't bank them.
So what?
It's about, do you know what that is, though? It's about solidarity. It means that,
what does that mean?
There's more care available to others that need it. It's a good thing that
only
you're not
3
sick.
though, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not about, use it because you've got it. It's just, if you need it, use it.
The problem is, as well, is like accessibility isn't, I think, the main issue. It isn't an issue, but I actually think that there's a cultural issue where people that I'm related to will wait till they're on deathbed until they go to the GP.
I might need to go to the doctor. My
I'm
arm
not going
just
to
fell
name
off.
those people, but they rhyme with mad. My dad always goes to the doctor like way too late.
Dad.
Yeah, my dad always waits to the last minute.
It might just be a male thing.
Old school male.
My he's got a pretty good pain tolerance. So he'll be like, and you can tell he's uncomfortable for ages. And finally my mum's like, you got to go. And then he'll go and they'll be like, oh my God, what's going on right now?
Certain amount of grumpiness, and then, sort it.
But then it's like, if he had 3 free GP visits, would he go sooner? Absolutely not. I'm the same. I don't go to the GP unless I'm like almost bedridden.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's a good thing. If we have a healthy population, we don't have to use all of our allocations.
That's right.
Why not, right?
Healthy population.
Well,
national
Because it's
security.
there that if you do need it.
Can I donate my 3? Like I could honestly say that I've been to the GP 3 times in the last
3
probably
years.
3 years. Yeah. Can I give those?
It's like a voucher system in a way, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I could nominate someone. Like, what happens if my kids, they already go for free? What happens if Deb needs to go more than once?
I think
I like this.
The point is, if you need it, then you go and you use it.
Yeah.
And if you're in if you have chronic health conditions, then there are programs that you can be enrolled in to help you with that, and you get more allocations in terms of visits.
Anyway, we got off track here. There's socialists at university. 3 free GP visits. We met a guy from Labour, didn't we?
He was cool. I
he
liked
wasn't
him.
a candidate. He was
nice.
in the party.
But we really encouraged them.
We encouraged him to run as a candidate.
Yeah.
He loved that.
He was good. He was
like,
good. He was a good fella.
Please tell me more.
Yeah.
And you know the guy that he was walking around with was a Greens member. And then I saw them both today walking around with a National guy. I was like, what the fuck for that?
That's awesome.
Unity.
Rainbow unity.
I yelled out, Grand Coalition. And then they were like, and I was like, it's happening.
No.
It's happening right now.
Grand Coalition, but not the Greens.
Yeah, the Greens are like, is that us? No.
No. You stay out of it. No one invited you, buddy.
You get out of here. You get out of
Stay
here,
out
boy.
of it. I said to the group of girls where they came over to our table, they were talking about the Green Party. I was like, the Green Party are like watermelons. Like, because we were talking about, I was like, yeah, they're green on the outside, but on the inside, they're just hardcore communists. They're red. They're like, ha, 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 ha. That's funny. I was like, yeah, well, don't vote for them. So
In 6 months, when there's posters of Arian around the university for assaulting people with his language, we'll have to hand them in.
that was insulting. It was straight
No,
facts.
not insulting. Assaulting. That's
Oh,
hateful
assaulting.
speech, mate.
It is hateful, but
Jeez.
I love. Yeah.
But you love doing it. So it doesn't count.
Is it a hate crime? Look, everyone who
hate crime?
contacted me in solidarity, I feel like I touched a lot of hearts when I said, "Is it a hate crime if I love doing it?"
I said, I swear we're going to get the t-shirts made. And I'm really like, I'm
Really?
really considering us doing it.
Really, serious.
Yeah.
I feel like I get a lot of hate for that.
Not if we make them look cool.
Yeah.
If we just do Comic Sans
Yeah, yeah.
on the tube.
Does it really hate if they're loving it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Look, is it a hate if you love doing
You
it?
lot of love them.
It's love.
Yeah,
Did you not see that? Did you not listen to the last episode?
I did.
No, you didn't.
Did.
I didn't listen.
What
Eh?
was the play on
Did
that?
you
Listen
see
to
the? Did you see the video of us riding bikes?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, over
What
today.
What about the video of
I
us?
watched it.
What about the video of us swinging on the swings?
What? That wasn't.
No, he's making up. This guy's he's trying
No,
to
no,
test
it's
you.
just testing you,
I
testing
trust
you.
you.
Guys, I watched it because there's a big clip of me in the
Big
middle.
clip of you in there.
Come on. I mean,
After
seriously.
that, though, after that, turn it off.
No, it was funny. Oh, good. I liked the whole editing style.
Yeah, appreciate it. What did you learn at university in the last 3 days as opposed to the 4 years you spent there?
Yeah. More communists. I would say, I was saying this to Nick. There are a lot of young people who come into university who are good-hearted, good-intentioned, and not coming into uni with a set of principles or a good, strong family who's given them, an education in the home per se. And they come into university and a university that has almost like a monoculture in some areas and certain subjects. And you have these lecturers who are teaching them these things as like gospel. It's like, this is the truth.
Yeah, it's orthodoxy.
And they take that as, oh, well, my lecturer said this, and so this is true. And so through no fault of their own, they become almost, indoctrination is a strong word, but I'll just use it for the sake of the moment, indoctrinated. And then when you do present them with an alternative, it's quite heavy for them. Like, oh, whoa, that's new. And so,
And are you allowed to say that on this space, on this hallowed ground?
yeah. So I felt
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I would say felt bad, but it was just like, oh, these kids could do a lot with a decent, good education, but you're just sending them into the space that.
Do you think, because often what the story is or how it goes is someone does study, they sort of get identified by their lecturer or one of the lecturers and says, you should do postgraduates, and then they do masters maybe, then they might do PhD, and then sort of the career options are pretty clearly become a lecturer or maybe don't utilize your study or find a really niche job. So then a lot of lecturers just become career academics.
Having not lived in the real
Having
world.
not lived in the real world or having to put some of these theories into practice beyond just deep research. And of course they're informed and they're educated. They're brilliant minds in a sense, but they haven't really like real world tested some of these.
Yeah.
There's like, how do you find it? Because you did your masters.
Yeah, I mean, I did my masters after quite a few years out there in the world doing work and stuff like that.
And you grew up in an environment that was fairly critical in terms of thinking. Like you were told to question and ask.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And my dad had a job at the university. He was a lecturer
that
part time.
Wow. Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
but he
correct.
worked obviously in the real world too. I say real world, in the non-university world.
Non-academic.
Some of these fields, the career prospects outside of becoming a lecturer are quite limited, right? Do you reckon we
Well-
need to limit the amount of people going in?
Yeah, I mean, there are. If you're talking about sociology, if you're talking about psychology, realistically, unless you go through clinical psychology and come out with that qualification after many years of study, you're not really going to do a lot with psychology.
In clinical psych, from my understanding, is fairly competitive. I know in
Oh, it is-
Otago,
it is-
at one
it is
point,
pretty competitive.
they had 6 spots available
Yeah.
a year. Yeah. So to get one of them was
So if you just
tricky.
do psychology through like your BA, then there's not a lot to show for it.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't.
What did I learn at university? Thanks for asking, guys.
Yeah. What did you?
No, I actually was really impressed by the caliber of students this year in terms of some of the critical questions that were being asked.
Yeah.
We obviously had the whiteboards on the table, asked 2 different questions every day. And I was really impressed what questions students brought forward. They didn't just place their sticker flippantly. Many of them, they actually asked questions, and many of them were happy to tell us why they placed their sticker. Obviously, we weren't there to tell them how to vote, but we wanted to understand why they voted. So that was cool. And I think compared to the last year when we were at university, the conversations felt a lot more robust and without feeling like combative. Like there was a real openness to be asked, why do you think that? Why do you say that? There's a real openness to sort of a challenge of what they currently believe. And then they were really good at challenging us.
I had a lot of really good discussions, kind of debate with students that actually were very well informed.
Yeah.
Good knowledge of history. Some clear gaps, in, for some of them because they're quite young. I mean, they've not had a chance to do
A lot of them were
study.
first year, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I was impressed. A lot of them are just literally just have come out of high school.
I probably had 10 conversations where after maybe a couple of minutes, I asked what year of study they were in, and they were first years.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like, you're actually awesome.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can carry that through their whole university education. I know you talk about that often, about coming in with some real clear character and identity and principles. So what a good time.
Yeah, the future is bright. The future looks bright.
I was encouraged. I actually was.
Yeah, it does.
Had a lot of people who are dissatisfied with the current government, but also not like, oh, I'm going to vote Labour. So we'll see how that plays out at the election.
There was a lot more support for the Greens. If people were actually expressing their support, they were saying, oh, no, I'm voting for the Greens.
But when you ask them what about the Greens was appealing, they all talked about the environment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but the Greens haven't really been nailing that side of their...
When was the last time they talked about
Not since
environment?
James Shaw, really.
And that's why I keep saying, oh, you should look at opportunity, which is like, for me, the main,
As new Greens,
the main opposition to the Greens. Yeah.
And interestingly, though, when you got down to it, though, they actually were talking more about things like cost of living.
Yeah, you had a few people raise that, eh?
I had so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Someone told us it was $500 a week to stay in a uni hall.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You get in a house for your family for that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. And obviously accommodation and food, but for one person, you get a tiny little dorm.
Is actually, hold on, accommodation, food, water, electricity, Wi-Fi. Is that
Yeah,
It's
it's
a lot.
500?
It's
It's
still a lot.
still
One
it's
person.
3 meals a day when they do food. But also, too, the cost of transport, public transport to get into the CBD, where the campus is,
Yeah.
is a significant amount of your budget if you're a student.
I
So
thought they were doing like 50. Do they still do that $50 a week?
No.
They cancelled it.
Old Summer, stopped that when he was minister. Yeah.
Simeon stopped it.
Well, it was government policy.
Whoever works with
I
him
won't,
in his
I won't
office.
blame the. I won't blame the brother.
Whoever works with that guy in his office. Nah.
good on him.
God bless you, Simeon. Good to see you every now and then. Good to see the political parties out there roaming. We had a chat with Kule. We saw
Greg Fleming.
Greg Fleming was there.
Saw
Great
Shannon
guy.
Halbert from Labour.
Saw Shannon. Didn't have a chat with Shannon, but saw him there floating.
Yeah.
Who else did we see?
Mahesh.
Mahesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rima Nakhle from Tekanini.
Is that how he says his last name? Rumenak?
Lady. Yeah.
Who?
No, that's
Wait, another
someone else.
person.
Yeah.
From Tekanini.
Oh, Tekanini. Yeah.
Tekanini MP. Yeah.
Who didn't we? Yeah, I mean, we didn't see anyone from NZ
Oh,
first.
Top was there.
Yeah, we saw
Kule Wong.
Had a good chat with Kule, obviously. No, it was good, mate. So we're going back. That was event 1 of 5 that we're going to be doing in 2026. So we obviously have Rio Week and the end of year celebration, but in between that, we actually have 2 more events we're allowed to run just independently as pop-ups.
Cool.
So we'll go out, we'll meet more students.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think we're close to 400 students subscribed for updates. So, mate, and they all like, how many conversations did you have with like, how can we be more involved?
Yeah.
A lot of law students really interested,
Yeah.
global studies students really interested. A lot of them had some great perspectives on human rights and civil liberties and what's happening in the world right now, like Iran and Israel, US, all those things. So
I thought that rather than describe this generation as apathetic, I actually don't think that's the best way to describe them. I think a lot of them are feeling a bit burnt, feeling a bit not apathetic, disillusioned, which is not the same thing as apathy, right? It's more a sense of cynicism about, is there
Doesn't
actually
matter. Yeah,
room for
giving up.
change here? Is there
Yeah.
possibility for us to even make any kind of impact in politics?
I reckon it's the people sort of a touch older than me and probably down to your age that are the apathetic ones. Because I'm 30, you're 23. I reckon it's
I'm 31.
Yeah, you're 31. Plus, no. So, but I think it's that group, and it's been unfairly sort of shifted on to the younger ones as well.
Yeah.
And like they've sort of just been said that they're apathetic. It's my friends, it's my generation that are probably
They feel a bit shut out of the system, right?
yeah. Well, they're the ones that are like, oh, it's impossible to buy a house, or it's impossible to get married, or because this is like the stage of life that they should be in, right? Or they feel like they should be in socially.
There was a lot of energy on the campus, though. Like some of them were quite angry or pissed off. Like that's not apathy.
No one was aggressive though, like at us anyway.
No,
I think
Not directly. There was
there was a
potential
lot
for
of-
it to be though.
A lot of angst under the surface, right? And some of it quite
100%.
open.
I
but-
feel like
And it says a lot about just being able to smile and say hello to anybody. Like you could see the ones who were critical of us standing off and sneering, but we just said hi to them, invited them over, gave them the chocolate. And
it could have gone sideways if we wanted. Like if we weren't cordial about the conversation, that could have
The
gone
amount of people
sideways.
who were like pointing at us from a distance, they ended up coming in and engaging was actually really cool. I
It
reckon.
was really nice. Well, maybe it was the chocolate, but
The chocolate, yeah.
The
Well, you
candy.
keep yelling, free chocolate! This guy's
Hello.
like, this guy's yelling, free chocolate! And they come over, he's like, if you fill out the form.
yeah.
It's pretty easy to buy people, eh? I mean,
And then they're like, okay, I'll fill out the
Okay.
form. I've been promised my free chocolate.
And then
small
I'll-
expense.
I told everyone what I told everyone. They go for the chocolate. I'm like, normally it's just one, but for you,
If
give
you
you two.
Oh,
I told everyone.
Number one marketing trick right there.
This guy's
It's
slick,
the
eh?
Middle Eastern blood, I mean, yeah.
We met some really cool people. Gave a couple of people sort of our cards, obviously, and said get in touch. Like
Yeah, stay in touch.
people
stay
who
in
want to
tune.
talk to them. I'm thinking you're a future lawyer that we should be partnering with. You're a future academic who would be awesome in this space. You're a future campaigner who should definitely be thinking broader than just working for like one of the big four. you should be thinking about how you can create social change in all these other areas.
Society.
Civil society stuff.
You're a future pharmacist, and you just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You stay where you are.
And I don't even know what you're studying because it's obviously computer science. And
A lot of comp sci students.
A lot of engineers.
Yeah, a lot of international students who'd only been in the country for 2 or 3 days, which I was like, wow.
I could
good
always
on
tell
you.
when it was an international student because of the accent Arian put on.
No, but no, you can so easily gauge.
What
you
about
know.
that one that you tried and she was in New Zealand for 30 years?
Still in an accent? She had an accent? I'm sorry.
Nah, good on you. You wouldn't
Just
be able to
trying to
do
be
that if you were white. If Nick did that, he would have been kicked off campus immediately.
Oh, look, I think the accent I put on for the listeners, it was not an accent. It's just speaking very clearly for the immigrants.
We should shout out one guy in particular who I really enjoy talking to. He goes by The Fake Magoo on Instagram. He's been commenting on our posts for ages. Never met him. And I thought his picture was like a stock image because he's a Sikh. And he writes stuff that you wouldn't assume a Sikh would write. And he always puts hilarious gifs on our posts.
That's a she.
So, a Sikh.
A Sikh.
Yeah. But awesome guy. Had a great conversation about immigration.
Oh, wow.
He asked us our perspective on all these things. And he came back past today. And I realized that was his account. So we had a good chat. So shout out to you.
Yeah,
for
I
always
enjoyed talking
commenting.
to him, yeah.
He was a great guy.
Yeah,
He was a great guy.
I was impressed at how many 18, 19-year-olds had actually been following our podcast for a while and our Instagram.
That was awesome, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
wow.
They just came up and they're like, oh, yeah, we've been following you
Should be a
since
bit more
last year. I was like,
responsible
"Oh,
when I
cool."
speak, eh? Yeah.
Dozens and dozens being like, we see you online.
Can you be?
Yeah, well,
Is that
I can
possible?
try. I can try.
Yeah, no, it's funny. And then it's funny, the other members of faculty who came past to have a look. And it's, I
They
don't know.
came with a little bit of suspicion.
Yeah, they were like, who are you? What
What
are
do
you
you
doing?
do?
What
And
does
then
that
they,
mean?
then they warmed up.
Yeah, I
They
think,
warmed up.
honestly, talking to people with a smile, it's just like when we went to select committees.
Yeah,
and
just
it's
be
like,
normal, bro.
Hey,
Just
thanks
relax.
so much for having us. Great to be here. Appreciate your time.
And then
The,
pounce.
the next 10 minutes are going to be so much easier than when you sit down and be like, this government is trying to kill us. They're canceling the media. You know, and it's like, it's okay to believe that, but just ease them in.
It's humans, man. It's just relax. Just breathe. We're all
Alf said we're
friends here.
handsome.
That's terrible.
Can you affirm that?
Can't deny it.
Hey,
Oh,
the eye candy, as they say.
Speaking of Iran,
Speaking of Iran, crossing
What's
to our
going on?
Iranian
Yeah, Iran correspondent dies. Bibi Netanyahu.
Was he the supreme
Bibi,
leader?
yeah. Bibi Netanyahu, take him out right now.
so what's the latest goss on the Farsi vine?
Farsi Vine.
are they saying
The
about it?
Farsi Vine is actually celebrating the Israeli and American joint attack on
What?
Iran. I know. Can you
They're
believe it?
celebrating
Even
it.
though it was illegal.
But it's
Yeah, international law.
It's an imperialist war of aggression.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
You ask any Iranian, they're like, yeah, please do it again. Attack. We want freedom.
Aggressive.
Did you see they
Yeah.
appointed a new leader?
And
he
then
died the
45
same
minutes
day?
later, yeah. What was that meme you sent me? It was
It was like
45 years.
No, it was like the other Ayatollah was like threatens and taunts for
Israel.
5 decades, dies on the first day of the war.
Yeah.
That's a good social media handle, eh? The other Ayatollah.
The other Ayatollah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I saw this meme where it's like SpongeBob holding open a coffin, and it's like Israel and the US welcoming the next regime leader.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they killed the main one, and then the next one was appointed, and then 3 hours later he was
got
killed.
him.
Yeah, it's just a death sentence.
And I mean, there are going to be some people screaming at what they're hearing right now from us. But the fact is that these people, these Ayatollahs, have been responsible for the deaths, the persecution
tens of
of
thousands.
tens of hundreds of thousands of people potentially
over the past
other-
40, 50 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Over many
So-
decades. And how many bombings, how many terrorist attacks in the UK, Argentina, for instance. I mean,
Australia
one
even.
of the biggest, terrorist attacks in modern history occurred there, and it was sponsored by the Iranian regime.
Well, Mark Mitchell talked about it this morning on Hosking, and I thought his take was perfect. Summed it up perfectly that these modesty police, or that's what they called them, the modesty police,
yeah.
and these Iranian-funded, effectively
Proxies.
terror groups,
Yeah,
that
proxies,
go
yeah.
out and they just brutalize people, their own people. So
And they've shown their true colors, but people are like, some people say, well, look, it's their own people. They can do whatever they want with them. That's a terrible argument. But they've shown their true colors in that sense that over the past 3 days, they've just been hitting hotels and international airports and everything else in the Middle East indiscriminately.
yeah,
So,
Is that because of their guided systems malfunctioning, do you think?
but they just don't care. They're just,
Right.
I don't think it's any malfunction.
Yeah,
It's just,
I agree.
it's
I was just
guided.
being facetious.
Yeah. They're just hitting everything. So imagine these guys had nuclear weapons.
yeah. I did have an interesting moment the other night when I did another talk show, and someone said, well, I thought the US took out the nuclear weapons last year when they did the bombing. Why have they done it again? And it's a fair question, I suppose.
Well, this operation is different. That one was to take out the nuclear facilities. This one is to take out their ballistic missile systems.
Yeah, okay.
And you imagine if at the current rate, they're able to build hundreds of missiles per month. Let's just say 100 ballistic missiles per month. Now you extrapolate that and give them a year to do that. It doesn't matter if they don't have a nuclear weapon.
Right, so it's 12 times 100. Yep.
So yeah, 1,200. Yeah. It doesn't matter if they do not right now have nuclear weapons. They can create a system where they have so many ballistic missiles that if they did want to build a nuclear weapon, no one would be able to say no to them because they would just bomb the hell out of everyone because you create an opportunity where it's like, well, there's no negotiation here. You either go to war with us right now or we build it.
I mean, and
pushback, please.
And I suppose, late in the set to be asking this question because it's clear where we sit on it. But do you trust the US's intervention, Israel's intervention to establish a new era of democracy?
What other options do they have?
Why? Yeah. So you think it's justified intervention? You think it's
absolutely?
Good?
I absolutely think this is justified. People can decry international law, and someone asked me this the other day. This is a breach of international law. Okay, if it is a breach of international law, and if you want to invoke this international law term right now, how about you invoke international law when Iran is funding the Houthis in Yemen who are bombing commercial ships for the past 3 years, when the Houthis were propped up by the Iranians, and there's a civil war in Yemen that's been going on for a very long time, again, propped up by Iran. Hezbollah in Lebanon was propped up by Iran, and their entire purpose is to destroy the state of Israel. Hamas, who did terrible things on October 7th, and Assad's regime, who was responsible for the murder of many, many thousands of people, and the Venezuelan leader, who was just smuggling drugs everywhere. So how about we talk about international law there?
But
Preach.
But listen, everything you just listed.
And the 20...
Israel,
It's the Jews.
But Israel.
And people are like, oh, this is Western imperialism. Hey, guess what? If America doesn't intervene, you think what? No one else is intervening in the Middle East?
Well,
you think it's over?
The thing that annoys me is like when it's a conflict that, let's just say what is the left sees as a conflict of interest to them. They're like, why isn't America sanctioning? Or why isn't America getting involved? Why isn't America doing this? And then
hey,
it's like,
buddy,
mate, what are you on
it's
about?
been 50 years. They've tried.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just that first argument that you raised, which is if Iran had built a nuclear bomb, and then that precipitates a major arms race in the Middle East. I mean, the Saudis want that nuclear technology as well. Who
The moment
else
Iran
with
gets it, the
capability?
Saudis are like, well, we'll have one as well.
Of course. So you see that suddenly escalate. You've got all these people now that didn't have nuclear weapons. They've got them. So it's in the interest of the US and others to actually try and stop that process before it even gets going, right?
Absolutely. And people,
So it's just that alone.
Oh, totally.
There might be reason for intervention. But then there's this question of people assuming, it's all about regime change, and they want to do what George W. Bush tried to do, and that install a democratic government and have a sort of a puppet leader and so on and so on. Actually, those are not stated aims that have been very clearly defined by anybody on Trump's administration.
Obviously, you can't force people to have democracy, but Iran has a
history
beautiful
of
country.
freedom.
It has a history of being a liberal nation. So it's returning. It's not enforcing.
No, totally. And the people are calling for it, first of all.
Yeah.
I'm curious though. I mean, there is a certain amount of like sort of romanticism around like who the Shah was.
He wasn't a particularly liberal leader as well.
No.
Don't get that.
There were certain
twisted at all.
aspects of liberal culture.
Totally.
Women were
of course.
forced to wear, the
Hijab
and so on.
It wasn't Sharia law running the bloody place.
Yeah. So it was by the Middle Eastern standards, it was a very liberal environment for a lot of people. But of course, there was a secret police. There was
100%.
torture of political prisoners and that
That's
kind
right.
of thing.
They didn't have. They had free speech, but not much freedom after speech.
But hey, nearly 50 years later, there's very, very good reason to believe that there are certainly enough people that are of a liberal sort of democratic mindset that it has a fair shot of working. If they're given a chance.
But if they're given a chance?
That's it. And what is the likelihood? Even if there is a significant groundswell from Iranian people towards liberal democracy, what is the chance of them actually being able to establish this new era of, representative government?
Look, someone asked me, great question.
Thanks.
There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that tomorrow democracy is going to reign and the sun's going to shine and we're all going to be happy and the economy is going to be
But
fit.
is there a reasonable chance of it though? I mean, we don't need certainty, but is there,
This moment imposes a serious responsibility on those people who want freedom, true freedom, and a liberal democracy to be unified and united and have a very clear voice on what they want. Because right now they say in the most unstable and uncertain times, the most united and unified people are the ones that will take control and build the future.
and it seems like they're going to need a lot of creativity to get from where they are right now, where the IRGC, right, the army, which has been typically more conservative, more hardline, under theocratic rule, they are the main obstacle between the people of Iran, and this
Totally.
this goal of realizing liberal democracy.
A lot of people have come out recently and said, "Oh, it's interesting. Like if the Iranian people had, what was it, the Second Amendment right to hold guns and things?
Yeah.
Government's ability to massacre tens of thousands of them in 48 hours. They would have just taken over the government.
But then arguably the chance for a civil war to emerge would be greater too.
The
wouldn't it?
Americans had a civil war, turned out pretty well, but
I mean, they lost 500,000 soldiers.
yeah, no, okay, well, yeah, that's true. So maybe I redact that comment, but
have to.
but lots of people have come out and
It
said,
may
"Oh,
take that, right? It
no,
may take
totally."
that.
And no one has ever look. Lots of people have come out recently and said, "Oh, war is a terrible thing," as if they've just made some really great, incredible,
Profound insight.
Wow,
Okay.
really, war is bad. When did you think of that, buddy?
We stand on literally blood-soaked ground.
Should be a little bit grateful.
Yeah, because people have gone and died and fought for what we now live in and take for granted on a large part.
It's pretty much always a last resort, isn't it?
Talking to that guy today from the army, there was a real sense of pride that he was just in the territorials, and there's a real sense of pride.
He was
that
studying law, wasn't he?
studying law in the territorials, a real sense of pride, and that he gets to do something for his nation. We asked him about mandatory service in the boot camps, and he said, "Oh, look, I don't know about the corrections style youth boot camps, but I think having them as an option for people to opt into, 100%. He's like, everyone who does them has enjoyed
So
them.
national service.
National service,
Yeah,
yeah. And he said in his grandparents' generation where there was more of a national service or mandatory conscription, he said everybody enjoyed it. He's like he's never heard of anyone not enjoying it. So
Bring it back.
maybe bring it in here, mate.
Bring back conscription or some sort of state service. I think people. We need people to love New Zealand. I don't think we have the even when we were in Australia, there was a little bit of a sense of like, oh, we love Australia, like we are patriots, and I don't feel that we have the same.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that national service instills that, but it certainly
Something to
does.
do it.
It does instill potentially skills that a population more
skills,
broadly
yeah.
might need.
Yeah.
In case of a national threat.
Prediction next 6 months. Because why does this affect New Zealand? Obviously, some people might be listening to this and being curious as to why Pillar New Zealand is talking about Iran. There's obviously implications for New Zealand around our fuel. I've seen people concerned about KiwiSaver investments, national defence, all these things. Implications New Zealand-wise and on the ground in Iran. What are your predictions, Arian?
Very short term, it shows you the real colours of some of our public servants and journalists and those who want to say that they know things.
Especially our journalists, eh?
Yeah, suddenly they care about justice. Oh wow!
See, Golriz Garman's made a comeback to the mainstream headlines.
Because she's Iranian.
She's Iranian, yeah. And she's sort of condemning all this criminal activity. And she
She's
would
a
know.
human rights lawyer, right?
She would know about criminal.
And she would know criminal activity.
What
when
does
she's seen it.
international law say about stealing clothes from shops?
I see you still have both of your hands. You obviously started shoplifting when you got here.
yeah.
Nah,
You're
come
listening
on.
to this, like,
Come on.
good on you. Keep
Come
up the
on.
good work.
We all laughed.
Quite sad.
If she can't laugh at that, geez.
Come on, okay, it's been 5 years. Come on now.
Yeah, come on. You're allowed to laugh. You're in New Zealand.
Really, 5 years, well.
It's been 5 years since that happened. Yeah, 2023 was the election, so
3
yeah,
years.
4 years, yeah.
Coming on
Anyway,
for 5.
so your
Yeah,
prediction.
figure out where people stand. Obviously, fuel oil prices are volatile. They'll go up, they'll go down. I think the conflict, they say, will not last very long. They say it's a 1 month operation. And I tend to believe that for, at least from the American side, just because I don't think Trump has it in him to do it for a very long time. But I think politically it will cost him quite a bit, especially with the midterms coming up. So I don't think he'd want to drag this out for too long.
No.
And then in the long term, I'll be honest, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't have a glass ball into the future. My hope that the separatist movements who want to break away from the territorial integrity of the current nation, I hope they're not successful.
Kurds.
I just
Balochistan.
exactly. I want the nation to remain as it is, and I hope that there is a unified voice that actually brings a secular democracy. Although that is very difficult, given what's been happening. So I'm sorry, I genuinely don't know.
No, that's fine.
That's I will ask my.
I mean, I don't know why I bothered asking you, but that's fine.
Futurists. Well, thanks, man.
No, I'm joking. No, it's good. Well, we'll watch with interest. We will watch with bated breath, as they say.
Yeah. I will say, I made this. Sorry, I'm just in the middle of all this. I will make the comment that I think, in the grand scheme of things, the ultimate power play, geopolitical power play of our time is China and the US. And if the Russians are preoccupied, and I think Trump has been working to bring the Russians onto his side a little bit, to many people's disappointment, but that's just the reality of what's happened. The Russians are busy. The Iranians are gone now, both of whom were Chinese, besties. Once the Iran issue has been dealt with, I think it will allow the Americans to focus all of their energy into the Pacific and on Taiwan and on China. So that might heat up.
And even if it really turns the custard in Iran, as in there's no clear outcome here, there's a prolonged, we hope not, but there's a prolonged, civil war of some kind. The US are likely to withdraw their forces anyway, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it'll be left for Israel to deal with. Yeah.
They're not going to leave the aircraft carriers, in the Gulf, on the chance that someone's going to send a suicide boat out there or something to hit it. So they're going to. I mean, the US are going to withdraw their forces. They're going to reposition them in the Pacific, somewhere in Southeast Asia.
So that's my anticipation. Yeah.
They need to do that, I suppose, in order to be a counter to the threats to Taiwan,
that's right.
to Japan, and so on.
That's right. Yeah.
Can I take this opportunity to address something?
Sure.
Every time we talk about China, we've talked about Iran, we get inundated with the biometric data sharing, which, by the way, we criticized and did not endorse, but people did not seem to pick up on that.
You mean the criticism about the US?
Yeah, we said, our position on it was
we
didn't think it was a good idea to have a wide open door to New Zealand's biometric data for the US to access whenever they want. When you just travel.
And we said it emphatically.
Doesn't sound controversial to me, if you ask me.
But the amount of people who jumped in our comments, and again, they do this about us calling out China's foreign interference. They've done this about us calling out Iran's regime. They've done about the biometric data. They get in our comments and they're like, F the US, stuff the US, you guys are US.
A lot of anti-Semitic stuff.
A lot of anti-Israel.
They don't do their research. They just look at our record. Our record speaks for itself.
But let's just speak to this. I am happy to say that in the scheme of the world order, I would rather partner with and be aligned with the USA than the likes of China.
With all their imperfections,
With all the imperfections. I'm not saying they're perfect, but...
Well said.
We're not saying we should share out all our data with
exactly.
them. No.
But I'm just saying, because people are like, oh, you guys never criticize the US. Well, we do criticize them on a number of issues, but at the same time, they are the most aligned partner in terms of what we would hope to have in a defense partner, right?
America is very flawed. But at the same time, we have more in common than we have.
And we call it out when we see it. Hey, I don't see you, calling out the Chinese and the Islamists and the communists. So, I don't see.
You mean you as those critics?
The critics, not you guys. You guys are very critical of the Islamists, as you should be.
But I just find it weird that people are so no, I don't find it weird. I understand people are anti-American, but their hatred has made them blind to the true evils of the world.
It's just a straw man. They just want to set up something that they can tear down. In fact, it's not even reflective of reality. It's not who we are.
And they're like, but America's got all these issues. Yes, America's many inequalities and many social inequalities. But at the end of the day, they have freedom of speech. They still have many of the democratic rules, even though people would say Trump is trying to infringe on much of that. We would challenge on some of those issues too. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to say stop with your stupid comments. You're more than welcome to post them. Our comments are open. We don't delete comments. You're allowed to say whatever you want.
And keep being stupid. Please post more.
Yeah.
Comment more.
But we just make it really clear. When you criticize us and say, oh, you guys are pro-America or pro-Israel.
Just read up first. Do your research.
We're not pro, but we are very aware of what aligns with our democratic values more.
Incredibly naive, as if America suddenly pulled out as the, if they just stopped being quote-unquote interventionist or the policing the world, as no one's going to do it. It's all clean, and the Chinese are not going to do it, and the Russians are not going to do it. And of course, if America pulls out, the Chinese will continue to do their thing and do it at a far higher speed, and the Iranians, well, they can't anymore because they're dead, and the Russians, who are also dying. So there's just
the EU ain't going to do it.
No, they're busy dealing with.
stupid. The EU, the UN, all of these
UK,
organizations.
yeah.
The UK. You go to Africa. You got the coastlines of Africa, and you tell me who owns it all? China.
There you go.
The next century could be the African century. They've got the replacement rate. They've got the growing population. They don't have any of the ownership of their own natural resources now, though, because of China. So that's why India is thriving, because at least India owns its resources, manufacturing power, and they've got the population growth.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to bring that because I love the comments, even the critical ones. But I don't want people to feel like they're pulling skeletons out of our closet when we're very open about everything.
So. When we talked to some Chinese students today, they were like, I asked them about democracy. They were like, "Oh, what's that?" So either that was like an English thing where they didn't know what democracy was, or they actually just like didn't know. And then I explained it to them. They're like, "Oh, in China, there's like a small number of people who make all the decisions." I was like, "Oh, good thing, bad thing?" They said, "Bad."
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, hopefully one day have democracy." And they said, "Yes, hopefully yes,
And
democracy."
we never saw them again.
And they got kidnapped by.
No, but this is the thing, right? And then how many people did we have when we had our poll up for the style of government? So we had capitalism, communism, socialism, anarchy, and we had like 4 people from Hong Kong come and be like, "Oh, capitalism, you don't want communism, you don't want socialism."
Exactly. The ones who
And
lived it.
we're like, "Oh, where are you from?" Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And then I said, "I've been to Hong Kong. I loved it." They're
Beautiful.
like, and literally one of them goes, "Nah, not since 2019.
Wow.
I was like, "Oh, I was there in 24. They're like, "It's not good
No,
anymore."
not good. Wow.
I was like, "Oh, just
Holy
trying to be
heck,
positive, just trying to find something to talk about."
Yeah. But there was a guy who was his parents were Ukrainian, and he like came over. He was like dead on the inside. He was like, communism bad.
Oh yeah, I saw that
I
guy.
was like, oh okay, well I agree. But
It is
all the
funny
best.
though. There was this kid who came over who was like, "I'm voting for the Greens because I love Chloe. She calls out everyone's BS and da da da." He's real passionate, nice guy. And then he's real critical of New Zealand and the government, and just thought the only answer was the Greens because the environment is going to be the answer to everything. I said, "Have you travelled extensively?" And he said, "Yeah, I have."
Oh,
I said,
really?
"Oh, where have you gone?" He's like, "I went to Fiji, I went to Australia, I went to Japan." I said, "Oh, and how did you did you like those countries? Were they good?" He said, "Yeah, loved them. I said, "How'd you find Japan?" "Oh, Japan's awesome, bro. Way better than here because everyone's like on the same buzz, everyone's on the same level." I'm like, "You know why there's so much harmony in Japan?" "Why?" I said, "Because they're all Japanese." And he was like, "Oh," and I was like, "And even the foreigners behave Japanese."
That's right.
Because if you don't assimilate, if you don't integrate, they will not interact with you. They won't serve you. There's literally areas in Japan where you're not allowed to go as a foreigner. They have signs that say no foreigners. They won't let you into certain bars
So,
and
so
restaurants.
their culture has a high degree of conformity, right?
Yeah, right. But I said to him, I said, and while that's cool, because you can go there and effectively pretend for a while, you wouldn't be able to live there, and you'd never become effectively a real Japanese person. You could maybe assimilate and become more Japanese in culture. I was like, but here in New Zealand, you can arrive and start whatever mosque, temple, church, community group you want. You can speak freely. You can say whatever you like about the government, and you're free to do that. You try that in Japan as a foreigner, they'll send you home.
Hell out of here.
Yeah.
They'll say it in Japanese, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's even down to if I go to Japan, I can't go to a bathhouse because I've got tattoos. They're not
Is
going to
that
let
right?
me in. Yeah,
Whoa.
any visible tattoo.
What's a bathhouse?
Like bathhouse are really popular in Japan, like kind of like
a spa.
wellness center,
Sorry.
like but more
Derail.
traditional.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
makes it sound really like new
look,
agey.
We're evidence of this, right? Like we're all talking about these things. We see ourselves as Kiwis, as New Zealanders,
Do you know what was funny
paying attention.
at uni? Whenever people would come up and be like, communism, socialism, da 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 da. I was like happy to engage the start of that conversation, but I slowly moved closer and closer to Nick. I was like, "Oh yeah," and then I'll be like, "What are you?" And then like move away.
I didn't notice that a few times that you did that. Yeah.
The expert took to the expert.
I was like, I could give you an answer, or you could talk to those guys done his masters. And he actually knows. Because how many people did you have where they were like, explain the difference between this, and you'd explain it, and they'd be like, no, I don't agree.
Oh,
and then you'd be like, well, you explain the difference between
Spent
communism and
hours talking to
socialism.
these people doing this. Yeah.
And you had some real good, like first year students, and you had those guys today who were pretty hard up socialism, communism.
Oh, I had some that were like master's students as well.
Really?
Yeah. And like ultimately, most of it just comes down to they don't really want to bring up the specific details in history that are actually pertinent to the argument
What about when you go
that you need to support your argument?
communism is the form of governance that has
said.
had that's caused the most deaths in the 20th century?
Yeah.
And the kid's like, no, it hasn't.
It's like, oh,
And you were like, well, yeah. And you gave him like dates, you gave him locations. He's like, no, I think capitalism's probably been responsible for
Well,
more deaths.
he argued fascism. I said, I'm not saying that fascism didn't claim a lot of lives.
Yeah.
But actually,
less than the
comparatively,
communists.
it's still more in the communist column.
Because he said, oh, Nazi Germany killed more people, or World War II more broadly. And you're like,
I mean,
no,
the war,
100 million in China.
World War II was the deadliest conflict in human history. It's estimated, but the point is that even just in China alone, under communism, from the time that Mao
They weren't even at war.
They weren't even at war.
So
They
killed so many.
100 million plus estimated to have died as a result.
Communism is of the devil. It's satanic,
mate.
That's why it's red.
It's brutal and it's ruthless, and it's largely because people dehumanize others for the sake of serving a system, right?
Yeah.
Once a system becomes more important than individual life
people.
and liberty and rights, right?
Put it on a T-shirt.
Oh, start a company.
Then this is what you get.
Peller.
That's
No, I agree.
In service of a system, not people in principle.
Of the spirit. Yeah.
What's our vision, Arian? What's our vision?
Our vision is a culture that values freedom, a system that prioritizes liberty, and a people who see the innate dignity and value of one another.
Oh, there you go.
There we
No,
go.
see,
Put 'em
even
to the
your
test.
pause doesn't seem like a hesitation. It just seemed like you really wanted us to take it in.
Soak that in.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Soak it in.
Just it was like a
Soak
dramatic
it.
pause.
Soak it in. People.
Very, very nice. Can I just say, we heard Winston Peters on the radio this morning on ZB
Absolutely fantastic.
being interviewed by Mike Hosking, and he was being asked about Iran, and the dude was on point. I mean, he is 80 years old.
He was sharp. He was sharp.
He was like, I don't know, was it the time zone difference because he was in Argentina?
Yeah.
There's a couple of drinks deep.
Yeah.
He's having loose. It sounds like he's having a great time there. But can I just say, like, the guy
can cut that
was just zinging on every level.
What happens to
just
Winston
firing.
when he retires? Like, what happens to the party? Like NZ first. Who's the depth? Because you've got Shane,
but he's only
Casey's
around
good.
for a couple of years.
But beyond those two, I'm not super familiar with their other MPs. And then their youth MPs are just kind of hectic.
This is the problem: is that like the Prime Minister comes out with pretty strong statement on Iran.
Yeah,
everyone's like,
"Oh my
how
gosh!"
dare you say?
And then he
that?"
melts.
And then under questioning in front of the media, wait,
Oh my god!
what happens? He starts walking it back.
It's too
Well, let me
nice.
clarify.
It's a nice
No,
guy.
don't
It's too
clarify.
nice a guy.
You've said what you've said. It was pretty clear. Don't caveat. That's what you're actually doing.
Not for these lunatic journalists. No, sorry, that's a very strong word to use, but not for the
Or
crazy
journalists. Yeah, I wouldn't call them journalists either. No, so what do you think's happening coming into the election?
Communist
Come on,
activists.
give me some predictions. Have we shifted since last time? I'm still on Grand Coalition.
Really,
Putting it out there.
really.
Dreams are free.
You can keep running that line as long as you want, but hey, does it mean anything? Don't think so. What do I think? I think cost of living is very much
It's the issue. Yeah.
And it will continue to be the issue. And I don't think geopolitics, I don't think any of that stuff for New Zealand is
I
going to
agree.
be a decisive factor
That's
in
right.
any of
Do you
this.
think that the geopolitics will be a relevant excuse? Oh, because of what's happening right now in Iran.
Country sucks because of Iran.
Nah, not really.
It's Arian's fault.
I just think that
kick 'em out.
I think that other things make people angrier. That yes, they get angry about this stuff, but it's other stuff that makes them angrier. And I think the real key is those people in the middle that could go left or right that aren't particularly devout in their terms of their political preference. They're the ones who are going to be going, look, I'm struggling. Interest rates are starting to creep up again. Inflation.
I thought we just cut some long-term rates.
No, but the outlook is that we are probably going to see some interest rate increases over time, and I think by November, I think it's entirely possible. Well, look, if it's not interest rates and if it's not mortgages going up, then it's going to be fuel prices in the interim between now and then. Because I mean, unfortunately, that's one of the costs. That's one of the costs of this conflict, right, with Iran.
Thoughts,
I
feelings?
on that same issue.
Yeah, on the issue. What do you see since our last conversation about election outlook? Do you see the left having increased their opportunity?
I've been a bit rough with the top party, as well deserved, but I do worry they might get in.
Yeah,
You worry?
Because of what I've said. I've said they won't get in, so I worry that I might be wrong.
Right.
But I feel like they're the old Green Party, like they actually care about the environment and they're not as crazy.
citizens' income though.
I mean, it's crazy, but it's not like Free Palestine crazy. which is pretty crazy.
They'll never get it across the line, even if they do get into it.
I mean, citizens' income is better than we're just going to borrow and borrow and borrow and
tax.
you know,
No, they're not going to borrow. They're going to tax everyone else. They're rich. They're mega rich, mate.
But what I'm saying is that's the alternative with some of the other parties on the left.
Mate, this language bill, English
language bill, making it the official language of New Zealand.
Doesn't matter.
Making an official language.
Like, I understand people are passionate about this topic, but doesn't matter.
Does that mean we have to learn English?
Yeah. Oh, damn it.
We've been avoiding learning a new language.
I wonder why, though. I wonder why. What would you guys say is the purpose of passing a bill that says English is a?
It's just a populist thing to do right now.
It's a statement. It's a statement there.
Does it have any impact on anything? Would you
Not
say?
really, no.
Really, you don't think so?
I don't think so.
No, because it's already the official
it's the common tongue
in terms of it's the lingua franca. It's what we use, right? It's the
So
language
it's
of
just
state,
like
language
it's
of
just a
business.
virtue signaling, like win.
Yeah,
I would argue
a
that it
populist
is.
win.
But that doesn't mean it's wrong to enshrine something that is the status quo, right?
it matters to people in a very shallow
Symbolic
sense.
way.
Yeah.
It's a culture war thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to necessarily cause anything bad, as a result.
Yeah, there's some people who are like Chloe, who's like really riled up about this.
Yeah, she used a particular precise technical term about
BS.
it. Yeah,
I don't know what
that's
it
right.
stands
yeah.
for, but
Yeah.
See, even our podcast is above using that word.
No, we wouldn't do
She
that.
says it in Parliament.
We don't. We don't lower ourselves.
In the
to that.
hallowed halls.
insane. Oh, she's
No,
Have some standards.
it's one of those things
some
that
shame about you.
NZ First does it really well, right? They pick a topic, whether it be gender ideology or the flag or the language, and it's a really good vote getter. And I don't want to disparage the people who are really passionate about these things.
No,
I
totally,
think
go
we should
for
be
it.
proud as Kiwis as well. I think New Zealand First does a great job of advocating for Kiwi identity.
Yeah.
This is why I see them needing an act like close by for some of the other more like economic and stuff. Because if it's all just culture wars and sort of identitarian politics on the other side of things,
Yeah.
what do we really achieve?
I mean, look, all we're really doing is just kind of tidying up, the status quo.
I like NZ First though a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
Populist.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be popular?
Who doesn't want to be popular, as he says? No, and Shane Jones has been really impressive, and like I say, I really like Casey Costello. I think she's really cool.
They're
But
competent. They're competent individuals. They might be populist, but as ministers, or
But
as,
aren't they all racist under anti-Māori?
Are they?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, I heard Shane Jones is like a
Matua
raging...
Jones.
Matua Jones,
he's a raging racist, apparently.
yeah.
He hates Māori.
Even though he's fluent,
Like
in Te Reo.
no, he would never speak Māori. Never.
I see this
Crazy, eh?
clip of Shane Jones from way back in the day because he's been a advocate and activist for a long time as well. And he's speaking in Te Reo and he's wearing a shirt. I can't remember exactly what the shirt said, but it was definitely like a pro-treaty shirt. And they tried to use it to disparage him, being like, see, look, he's changed. No. He's actually still the same principled character. You have co-opted and hijacked the kaupapa, for lack of a better term, and reapplied it. Yeah. there you
What does
go.
that mean? Someone said, "I love your Coke." I'm so
Kaupapa,
sorry.
it's like your culture. It's your way of doing
kaupapa.
things. It's like,
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was more like your
I thought it was
ethos.
language.
Your
your
ethos,
message.
but it's broader than just ethos. It's broader than just culture.
Keep up the Coke.
What this is an example of exactly what happens where the definition is fluid. It's whatever
Well,
we
no,
want
it's
it to
not-
be right now.
No, it's not fluid. It's just that it's like one of those words that doesn't have as narrow a definition in English.
Like international law. Yeah.
But language should be precise.
Sisu.
Everyone who speaks, everyone who uses language to advance conversation and narrative, and
Unprecise language makes life very difficult, I'd say.
yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying we shouldn't try and be precise when we
If I
speak.
tell Arian I'm fond of him, does he think that we're friends, or does he think something more?
Well, let me put it
Hopefully.
this way: there are words in English, right?
yeah.
That
What?
are much more general, much more vague in their meaning.
Give us one example.
Like I love the world.
I know exactly what that means.
You want to marry the world.
I believe the children.
Well, what is it about the world that you love, right? I haven't been
All of
precise.
The green and blueness of
Yeah,
it.
but see, that's the thing about English is I may not mean that I love everything about the world. It just means that I actually
It's
like a
different,
lot of
it's
things
different,
about
because
the
what we're
world.
talking about is a vague statement as opposed to a vague definition. Because I love the world as a statement, but kaupapa is a word that should have a definition. Which I always sort of was like, I love your
the same,
kaupapa.
it's the same
I love
principle
your
in
mission. I
communication.
love your message. I love what you represent. I love what you're advocating for. Like that's often how I've heard it contextually
You've
used.
just used 4 words to try and help me understand what kaupapa means.
Oh, you got me.
Okay.
You got me.
Okay, moving on.
I lost track.
Next topic.
Look, I don't know what's happening. I'll be honest.
Now,
I
let's
know.
talk about that guy that- let's talk about
What
that-
is a woman?
Let's talk about that guy that Arian bullied at university,
Hey.
where he said that democracy was corrupt and that everyone's corrupt and that ultimately we're going to be corrupt. And then
I said, he's like, well, everything is geared towards corruption. You know, democracy will always become corrupt because
I
people
was like
are.
geared towards it. Oh,
Yeah, he's like, he's like, because people are just people become corrupt. I
And
was
you
like,
don't think an authoritarian single party state might be also geared towards
Yeah,
corruption more
didn't he
so
say
than democracy?
even if you have a brand new democracy that starts from scratch, it will always become corrupt?
yeah, and I was like, why do you say that? Are you yourself particularly inclined towards corruption? And he was like,
Do you know
no,
what?
no, no.
Because he studied physics. And
Oh,
which law of
was he actually
thermodynamics is it? That everything goes from like order and structure to chaos?
Really? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's the inevitable. The point is
keep
that
going.
things
I'm gonna
progress
think
from
about it.
an orderly
Yeah,
state,
yeah.
you know,
Into a chaotic
into a
state.
chaotic state.
But it was funny. It's like, oh, so are you naturally, you know?
Well, his whole thing was like, well, everything is geared towards corruption, and I was like, well, are you yourself like you're admitting something important here that you yourself cannot control virtue in your own life,
Yeah.
and that you're inevitably gonna pass into evil and immorality.
We should preemptively arrest
Which, hey,
you
if
right
that
now.
if that is if that's really what you believe in, hey, God,
Wow.
cool. But
Stay away
I
from
have
this guy.
I have a higher view of
Yeah.
humanity.
And
Don't let your daughters marry him.
It was
Yeah.
just funny
Yeah,
because
yeah.
then he was
No.
like, well, no, I'm not. And
Well,
then
he's
you're
like, well, hold on.
no, no, I'm, and then I was like, oh, we're the only perfect person we've ever met.
And I said to him, is life though not a constant struggle against decay, trying to arrest that process of decay? Can we not like, yes, it may be easier, you know, when temptation's all around us to give in. Ultimately, what is noble? It's
Amen.
the struggle against it, right?
God loves a trier, as we said.
I probably
today.
said it even better than that at the time.
Yeah,
At that
which
time.
is quite hard to do.
I
'cause that was so
walked
good.
away from the conversation when I couldn't hold my laughter back.
Yeah,
after
you just walked off,
I was
started
like, bro, I can't. This guy's so
I
bad.
felt
Because
good. I was
it
like, I made
literally
Nathan laugh.
it
I was in it to the bitter end, mate.
I
I was
just- I
like,
gave
no,
up.
I'm not going to let this guy walk away and believe that.
Yeah, that's good time. We had 3 days. We asked 6 questions over 3 days. We asked on day 1, is New Zealand headed on the right track? And where do you get your media? Just to see if there's a bit of correlation there. We asked on day 2, what form of governance would you prefer, or what would you rather?
Yeah, that's right.
Socialism,
Family is a
communism, capitalism.
All right, day 2
And
was,
anarchy.
everyone should be free to
Everyone should be free to peacefully protest.
Yes, no, depends, and doesn't have to be peaceful, which got a lot of votes.
Yeah, and then today
Yeah.
we asked, is free speech a colonial weapon?
That was a great question. Whoever
And
thought of that?
we asked, is Indigenous knowledge ... or Indigenous knowledge is ... better, worse, the same, different than Western knowledge? And we were really keen to find out what students thought about those issues. Quite an interesting spread. The Indigenous knowledge one was, we probably shouldn't have put different because it was a bit of a cop-out, but it was important to have it there. But quite a few people said better. Not many people said worse. So anyone have any good conversations about that? I had quite a few.
Yeah, I understood why people said different
Yes.
because there are certain things that are local, like specific to the context that, you know, like what do eels do in terms of their migration and their breeding habits and stuff like that. That's stuff that Māori understood, that they understood a lot of, that Europeans wouldn't have known about. But is that the same thing? Is that just a sort of a fact or an observation that they had because they lived here?
Yeah.
It's different to an actual knowledge paradigm, you know, to kind of what are the underlying principles that inform your view of the world and how things work, right?
Well, I suppose it's like, and as well, what's the desired outcome, and that should maybe dictate what pool of knowledge you lean on. So, like you say, there's some amazing understanding of the environment and nature in Te Ao Māori and in sort of their worldview, but is applying it, like with natural disasters, is applying it going to be the best response to a natural disaster or preventative measure of a natural disaster?
Yeah, I'd say also that there's an epistemic question around for Māori knowledge, which is there is an emphasis on your forebears, on your ancestors and what they knew, and staying true to that. Which actually, if you look at the strongest kind of like traditions or the most sort of like dominant traditions in Western thought, it's been quite different. The scientific revolution in particular is do not just say, well,
Don't just do it.
our elders said it, so it must be true, and we cannot deviate from
Well
this.
said.
In fact, the scientific method kind of basically said, you know, the whole approach of falsification in science, which is don't say this is true until proven otherwise. It's actually let's test this and see if we can disprove it, which is a
powerful.
fundamentally different way of approaching knowledge.
That's right.
I agree in a scientific sense specifically, but I find it like in theology and in philosophy, often we reach back to those early thinkers and fathers of the church,
but it's not.
fathers of early thought,
Yeah, but it's not to say that there will be
Just
there
because,
is just because
Okay.
that's different, and I think that's where the epistemic issues for Indigenous cultures will come from. Is that
That's right.
they're not able to adapt and be flexible in a changing world, which is
right.
clearly what we're living in.
Well said.
Because of that adherence to ancestral beliefs that don't want to allow for change.
The truth is not a North Star. It's ancestry or loyalty to the
And the point is,
ancestors.
if your ancestors got it right, but you can test that as a
Yeah.
hypothesis,
Good on
and
you.
it turns out, hey, they were right, then sweet,
That's
and
awesome.
you can move forward again. And as long as you're open to that being tested repeatedly at different times,
Go for it.
you
Test
know,
it.
hey, you're
Play
not
around, see
you're,
what
you're not
happens.
worse off, you're better off. But if you cling to knowledge that will not withstand scrutiny, and so the only way that you can kind of bear to think of this is oh, it's sacred, we can't touch it,
Yeah.
then that will ultimately be a disadvantage to you.
has to be upheld by might. I had a really great student in front of me who was a law student. She was Māori, and she was really pondering the question, right? And I said, "Oh, what are you thinking about?" She said, "Well, I think you've got it depends, or no, it's the same, or they're different."
Yep.
And I think it really depends. And I said, "Well, a good lawyer would be able to argue every perspective."
Oh, let them
And I said, because it's better in the sense that they might be more community focused or culturally they build around family better.
Yep.
But it might be worse in the sense that health and educational outcomes are worse. And it could be the same, that the desired outcome of the application of this knowledge is the betterment of all people.
Yeah.
And then they're different in a number of ways, you know.
Yeah.
So she had a lot to say that I probably can't repeat accurately, but she was really thoughtful. And that's what I noticed across all those questions. There was a lot of thoughtful people. Dissatisfaction and probably the state of New Zealand, as you said, was really clear. Cost of living. A lot
I
of
was
people.
surprised by that, actually. I thought, oh, wow. People are really...
But also the number of people that just wanted to cite like American things. The constant, that was the touchstone for them. Like
Yeah, well
everything
said.
came back to, but look what the US is doing, and look at Trump, and I'm like, wow, okay, so we can't really just look at our context, then?
Yeah.
Look at New
and
Zealand.
kind of examine it for its own.
I suppose that's the thing. We're so influenced by social media, traditional media, film, and TV that the US feels so much closer than what it is in reality. We're a 16-hour flight away, and then when you get to America, you're going to realize really quickly that no one there cares about what you have to say.
Yeah.
No.
You know, there's like 350 million people who are just busy doing their own thing.
And it's half of it is so amplified. Like you were saying, when you were in the US, you were driving around and people were just living their own lives, and it wasn't as divided and
hey,
screaming,
there was
shouting.
a range of political opinions and views on all sorts of things,
their lives.
and people that would totally defy the stereotype, right?
Yeah.
So I think we just need to remember as Kiwis that actually our goal or our mission shouldn't be just to participate in the world order, but to actually lead in a number of fronts. And we just talk about it. Oh, we could be world leading. Well, let's do it then. We've got some of the most innovative people.
In the
We've
good
got
ways.
we've got
Yeah,
an
yeah.
We have a
incredible
history. We
environment.
have a history at times of being world leaders. And
Woman
things,
voted.
You know?
Yeah, well, I think we were the first
was
place
a
in the
good
world where
thing.
women voted. Though Australia had a state that
They
passed,
passed the law
we had
first,
an
but we
election
did
first.
it first.
Well, and from the 1850s, Maori males.
Honestly,
you know,
we've
they were
got-
entitled
we've
to
got
vote.
those
The
landowners there.
relationship the Crown has had with Māori, I know it hasn't been perfect, but relative to almost every
other
other
Indigenous person,
it's like far out. We've done pretty well for ourselves.
The degree of separation between New Zealand's Indigenous people and colonial settlers is so new and fresh. The only other place that it's similar is Australia, where every other nation that has been conquered and colonized and divided and redivided multiple times probably feels it less. And that's what we picked up from a few foreign students say. They're like, we can't believe how prominent the Indigenous culture is here.
Yeah.
But it's because it's literally in the scale of
150
history,
years
it's
ago.
yesterday.
Yeah.
That's right. We're a much newer nation.
We're a much newer nation. And it's something so special about New Zealand.
Yep.
I don't think that, I don't agree with all these people who are anti-Māori, because that's what it actually has become because of the politicization
terrible,
of the
eh?
issue.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But man, we should figure out a way that we can hold both in tension, that we are a Western nation with liberal democracy, but we still respect and honor our Māori culture without becoming apartheid.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was an interesting observation from that Austrian girl who talked about it, the amount of empires and leaders who have been through Europe throughout all history. It feels like a distant memory where there was an Indigenous group, but it's like so prominent and clear for us. Well, I hope this podcast was coherent. I think we're all a little bit tired after standing
I'm
this straight
very
out
energetic,
on
actually.
campus.
Yeah, we had a big lunch afterwards.
We did have a big lunch. It was good, and it was a well deserved. And I just want to say thanks to you guys for
Thank you, Nathan.
sacrificing
Thank you,
your feet
Nathan.
and your legs to engage the next generation of Kiwi
Happy
leaders.
to give
Thank
my
you, wise
feedback.
leader.
Yeah, thank you.
I actually prefer Supreme Leader.
Chief
New
Executive.
job.
I prefer
Did you hear what Trump said when they killed him? He said they
What?
killed him, and he said, "Well, look, there's a seat open. It looks like I'm making jobs in Iran as well as in America."
Oh my
I was
god,
like, what a legend!
Ben.
Creating
This
jobs
guy is-
internationally.
this guy's flames all the time.
Bro, he's creating jobs,
now,
boosting the economy.
Yeah, he's boosting the economy. What a guy. No,
He's really leaning on his apprentice TV
Yeah,
program experience.
You're
he's got
fired.
a speech writer who gives him all of his things. Nah, you couldn't write for that guy. He's
No.
so all over the show.
He writes for you.
Any
Couldn't
any final thoughts, Mr. Hahn?
You've run out of them.
Fair enough.
I'll be honest.
It's been a long day. Yeah.
I'll say my final thoughts, and then we can hand over to our
Please
closer.
go ahead.
To our closer.
What are your thoughts?
If you haven't and you're out there, watch Suits. It's great. I've watched it in the
It's
past.
inspired you to want to take on a law career.
Only watch up to where Mike gets caught. That's a spoiler. He does get caught, but after that, it's not exciting. But I'm watching it again because I really, for some reason,
Spoiler alert.
Suits is good. And if you
bit
don't want
late.
to watch Suits, these are my other recommendations. Friends, really up there. How I Met Your Mother, up there. In The Office. Those are the shows that I could watch.
Can I just say
over
one
it.
thought from me?
Yeah.
Read books as well.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean to you. I don't mean to you, but I mean just people in general.
Yeah,
read books.
people.
Read books.
Read books.
Any book recommendation? What's one book that people should read?
Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Is that like 1,000 pages?
Pretty big.
He'd write some long. Yeah. Nah, I should read
But
some.
you will never be the
Dostoevsky.
same after reading it.
Really?
Crime and Punishment.
Touches your soul, is it?
Does.
Crime.
Crime
Yeah,
and Punishment.
Dostoevsky is incredible. I've heard.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Personally,
Jordan
read it.
Peterson's favorite author.
Oh, is it okay? Right.
Oh,
Well,
well,
just
it's
saying.
Jordan's favorite.
Just saying.
My favorite too.
No, my thoughts are thanks everyone for watching and listening and supporting. It was awesome to meet so many of you at
Yeah,
university who
Absolutely.
do watch, listen,
Yeah.
engage.
Yeah.
Please let us know if you've got any thoughts, feelings, concerns, feedback. We're open to it all. Our comments are always open.
That's right.
We don't delete comments. In fact, we welcome them,
We will, even the hate ones.
even the hate ones,
Boost the engagement. Come on,
because hate's subjective. You loved writing it, so who are we to say it's a hate comment?
now. Yeah, exactly.
You loved it.
I love that you love that.
Over to you, Mr. Tashikori.
Look, my final thoughts is we're just very, as you said. Look, I'll just quickly reiterate what you guys said, but very grateful for everyone's support. We had lots of great conversations where people come up to us and say very good things. I'm very happy about the work that we're doing, and I just want to say, find a way to be hopeful. You know, there wasn't a lot of hope from some kids when we asked them about the future of New Zealand. Just
True.
look, I don't know how you're going to do it, but find a way to find hope, because it's a very beautiful thing to have hope.